Rudy Giuliani. Rudy Giuliani's association with Donald Trump has now cost him his law license. The former mayor of New York City was just disbarred by the state of New York for his false and misleading statements on the 2020 election. Giuliani was the lawyer for former President Trump and his campaign during Trump's failed effort to overturn the results of the 2020 election after he lost it. And he now claims he believed the statements he said at the time as he was making them, but the court believed Giuliani knew better. ABC's senior investigative correspondent Aaron Katersky joins us for more. So, Aaron, how does this disbarment work? It sounds like a judge is involved. Once called America's mayor, he's now lost his law license. How did we get here?
Yeah, once America's mayor, and really held himself up as the poster child of virtue, who made the ungovernable in Times Square the governable, and who took on the mob. And now he's lost his law license because of a series of false statements he made about the 2020 election. And contrary to what Giuliani asserted, that he sort of believed these statements at the time, Terry, the decision from the Appellate Division's First Department, which governs law licenses in New York, said that there is nothing on the record that would permit the conclusion that he lacked the knowledge of the falsehood of the numerous statements he made and that he had a good faith basis to believe them to be true. Quite the contrary, the decision says. Giuliani was properly found to have lied, to have been consistent in this pattern of conduct, and the decision says the seriousness cannot be understated here because it contributed to this crisis. And as a lawyer, Terry, the court said he should have known better.
And Aaron, this problem for Giuliani, the loss of his law license, comes on the heels of the Arizona case, the fake electors there that Giuliani has pleaded not guilty in. This is an array of legal problems he's got. You know, what comes next for him?
And he does. He could be, in addition to being disbarred, he, I guess, faces the possibility of prison time in some of these states where he's been indicted. But his spokesman is now calling on people in the legal community to rise up and oppose this, and saying that all the goodwill that Giuliani has built up over the years should be, brought to bear, and that this cannot stand. Terry, he's not doing anything with his law license at the moment. I'm not sure he has other clients. He's been in and out of court in some personal matters, particularly with his wife. He doesn't have a lot of money. He's been on the radio, but that's about it. So his primary concern going forward is going to be the legal problems that he faces.
Yeah, what a downfall. Aaron Katersky, thanks very much.